Hey, what's up? In this video, we're going to go over 7 ways to play the C major chord in your guitar. We're going to go over easy versions, super easy versions. We're going to go over bar chords, more advanced non-bar chord versions, and I'm also going to break down the technique so you can easily play these chords and make smooth chord transitions, okay? So let's not waste any time, and let's get into it. So the very first one we're going to do is the one that you're probably aware of, and it's going to be the C major in open position. However, we're going to break down the technique. So what's going to happen is we're going to put our ring finger on your 5th string 3rd fret, 2nd finger on 4th string 2, and index finger on 1st string 1. And we're going to be strumming from the 5th string down, so don't strum the 6th string. If you did, it would sound like this. Sounds pretty muddy. Okay. Now, what we're going to need to do on this guy is we cannot be jutting our wrist out. So we want the curvature to be in our fingers, not the wrist. And the other critical thing is your thumb needs to be just like this.
Oh, Vincenzo, insalata caprese.
So what happens is if you play the guitar, your thumb's over here, your hand will collapse, it won't stretch. Then you're gonna think you have small fingers, you need to do these finger stretches. This is a non-issue. No, you don't. You just need to have your thumb in the right spot, okay? So it's gonna be right behind your 2nd finger, boom, and that's it, okay? So again, if your thumb is over here, going like this, you're doing it wrong, and this is not how the human hand works, okay? So we need to make sure this is on point. Now, you could also do this. This is like for crazy, crazy beginners. Just one finger. So put your 1st finger on 2nd string 1st fret and strum from the 3rd string down. That's it. That is definitely a C chord. It's just only using 3 strings. Now what happens is with the C chord, all we need is notes C, E, and G. Right here we have a G note, 3rd string open, 2nd string, which is a C note, and then an E note. Okay? If that's confusing, don't worry about it. Just do that, okay? Cool. Sweet. If you find I'm going just a little too fast, I have an article that I wrote up on my website about this chord that'll have the chord diagrams, but then also I have a bit more information as far as what chord progressions sound cool with this chord, what keys use the chord, a few songs that are easy enough that you can practice with this, as well as what are the notes inside the chords that we can really understand what's going on with this chord, and we can level up your guitar playing and your musicianship at the same time. So you may want to check that out. The second way I'm going to teach you the C major chord, I guess we're on 3, that I wasn't thinking of that first one, but what we're going to do is we're going to put your pinky on the 5th string 3rd fret, and then we're going to put your ring finger on 6th string 3. So what happens is we're just adding in a little bottom end to the chord. And again, what's happening is if the notes of a C major chord is C, E, and G, all we did is add a G note in the bass. So technically this would be a C/G, and all that means play a C chord, but have the G note in the bass. That's it. Versus, okay, go ahead and try that out. Just add the little bottom end to it. And yeah, you could just throw your pinky on top, doing just a regular C chord and then throw your pinky, but that may be a little awkward. Whatever, you do you. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna jump up to the 8th fret, and we're gonna do this shape like so, but we're not gonna do the bar chord. So put your 1st finger, your index, on 6th string 8, ring finger on 5th string 10, pinky on 4th string 10, and your index finger on 3rd string 9. That's it. So don't strum strings 2 and 3. Okay? It would sound like that if you did, but we don't want to do that. So just strum those 3. I meant to say 4. Strum those 4 strings and just take your finger off. You have to get good at not strumming all the way down. Just don't strum those strings. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna ease you in to playing a bar chord. So what happens is people play their open chords, and then they jump to playing bar chords, and it's usually the hardest bar chord in the hardest position. So I'm gonna recommend you don't do that. So here you go. We're doing like a half bar chord because we're doing the shape, but no bar. All right, cool. Now what we could do is go ahead and just lower your 1st finger down, barring your 1st finger across all strings, and that's just going to add a little bottom end to it. Now we're playing a bar chord. Pretty cool. And yes, it's like this.
Oh, Vincenzo, insalata caprese.
Thumb is not over here. It's following these two fingers. Sweet. All right, so now your next bar chord is going to be right over here. Put your first finger on the 5th string, 3rd fret. Then you're going to bar with your ring finger across strings 2, 3, and 4 on the 5th fret. And hopefully you can see this right there. See that knuckle's kind of high, allowing it to scoop. And that's it. That's what you're going to do. The other way, the next way to play the chord is we're actually going to bar. We're going to do 2 bars. The index is going to bar and this is going to bar. So the index is going to be barring across strings 1 through 5. And this one's pretty tricky because not only is it crazy awkward to bar with 2 fingers, but your ring finger is going to have to get up and out of the way at the very last second so that it can press down on the 2nd string while getting out of the way so that the 1st string sounds. That one's pretty tricky. And you don't really need to do that one, by the way. It just adds a little top end to it, so it's not like necessary. All right. Okay, and the last way we're gonna learn the C chord is gonna go all the way up here. If you're on an acoustic, you should get an electric. Go ahead and put your pinky on 5th string 15, ring finger on 4th string 14, then your middle finger on 2nd string 13, and then your index is gonna bar strings 1, 2, and 3. That was a bit more exotic. You don't see that one as often, but it definitely sounds pretty cool if you want just a higher, lighter color of your C chord. So now you know 7 ways to play your C major chord. You're basically a C major pro. Go ahead and practice these things and be sure to check out the links below with the links to the blog where I break these down. Sometimes people need to read through it, but I'm also going to have on that page some theory breaking down the chord, what notes are in the chord progressions, what songs work with the chord, all of that stuff, as well as I'm going to have a link in the description below to my free download for a free training on how to speed up your chord changes in less than 30 days. Doesn't matter if you've struggled with this for years. I have a guaranteed process. It works 100% of the time if you'll follow instructions. Okay, cool. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video and look forward to seeing you in another video.